Hi everybody, this is Kevin, and welcome to part 7 of my Dragon Ball Z review and retrospective. And today we're going to take a look at Season 7, also known as the Afterlife Tournament, the Great Saiyaman Arc, and the World Tournament Arc. And once again, with the final 3 Blu-rays for the Majin Buu saga, you put them all together and it makes a nice image reminiscent to the VHS spines from back in the day. But the Majin Buu saga, really from here on out, is essentially the Majin Buu saga, but it gets such a bad rep. A lot of people hate it. Most people say Frieza is their favorite saga, and that they all shit on the Majin Buu saga for better or for worse. Now, when I was a kid, I obviously thought the Frieza saga was the best, and because I saw it so many times, because it was always on reruns, and the Majin Buu saga was towards the tail end, and not that I sort of ever outgrew it, but like towards the end, like '03 is when it stopped airing on Toonami, and then they went to GT and stuff like that. But at that point, 293 episodes later, you're kind of like, all right, let's move on to the next series. So in a certain sense, back then, I was kind of in the same boat, and I haven't rewatched it as much as the other arcs. Like, for instance, I saw Kai all the way through once, and before they did the redub. Just recently, 5 years ago or whatever, they did the final chapters, redoing the Majin Buu arc, and so I'd seen the Cell saga more times than the Majin Buu arc, and therefore I liked it more. But after watching the Majin Buu saga again here, I gotta say I love it. I honestly think the Great Saiyaman arc, which is sort of the slice of life, Gohan in high school meeting Videl, that arc is great. I think it is phenomenal. So essentially here with Season 7, you got Gohan and the Great Saiyaman outfit there, Goten and Trunks and Videl fighting Sapovich, and collects episodes 195 to 219, and essentially after Goku sacrificed himself, he didn't against Cell, he didn't want to be wished back to life, and this takes place. It starts off in the Afterlife Tournament with Goku training with King Kai and going to different worlds and meeting all the other Kais. Actually, it's revealed that King Kai is of the North Quadrant, and then there's South Kai, East Kai, West Kai, and then there's the Grand Kai, who's in charge of them all, and he's like this hippie dude. So it starts off there. You got 195 to 199 is the whole Afterlife Tournament, where Goku meets Pikkon and I forget the guy's name, but he sort of looks like Hercules, and he's a former warrior of Earth, I think Earth, if I'm not mistaken, but part of King Kai's quadrant, and he does battle with them all, and it has this culmination with, actually it starts off, it's pretty funny. They start off because how it ended with the Cell arc was, Cell blew himself up, and they teleported to King Kai's planet, so King Kai's planet's destroyed, and Goku, Bubbles, Gregory, they're all rebuilding King Kai's house, and then it falls up, like they put it together, then he shuts the door, and the whole house collapses. It's so funny. And King Kai's just having a meltdown, and then they start walking. Well, Goku starts walking alone, and then he's like, I don't know how to get there, I gotta get you guys. So he runs to get them, and they're all on their way, and it's funny as hell with Bubbles. He's like, ooh, return to monkey, right? But, so the culmination is Goku fights in the final round against Pikkon, and it sort of ends in a draw. Like, they have the battle, and then Pikkon has the weighted clothing on. He takes the weighted clothing off, and they can still go about. And, Goku's hesitant to use the Super Saiyan transformation, and it's pretty much a stalemate. They're even, and they're going to train. And then the Grand Kai, he's like, oh, how am I going to train these boys? They're even better than me. Like, he alludes to that fact, which is pretty good. So then with episode 200, Gohan goes to high school. So this is 7 years later after the Cell arc, we've advanced, and Gohan is going to high school now, and he's got, high school is very far away from him, so he's trying to fly to get there, and of course he's still heroic, and so he's fighting, thugs. There's like these burglars, he's fighting them, and he transforms Super Saiyan, and he hears chatter among all the kids who are like, oh, the Golden Warrior who has golden hair, but he kind of looks like Gohan except golden hair, so he's got to be all secretive. And then you also meet Goten, who is Gohan's younger brother, 7 years old, obviously. Chi-Chi wasn't visibly pregnant then, but, Goku must have hit her up right before he died, and he left his wife with a young child and Gohan. And Goten is so cute, and it's good to see him. And there's a great scene later when he meets his father, but we'll get to that later. So, Gohan at school meets Videl, who is a little cutie for him, and he gets a little crush on her. And she's actually the daughter of Mr. Satan. It's interesting how, her name is an anagram for devil, essentially, with the daughter from Mr. Satan. But, meets her, and she's got two friends, Sharpener. It's funny, Toriyama always does the puns. Sharpener and Erasa. And they're talking about the Golden Warrior and Gohan. And Gohan's like, I live so-and-so, and it's like 3 hours away. That's why he has to fly to get to school. And they're like, how the hell do you get there in time? Oh, yeah, I get there, I leave early to study or whatever. So it's all sort of goofy stuff going on. And, he gets the disguise, the Saiyaman costume, so that he can, I guess, go Super Saiyan without showing. And so it shows him going to Capsule Corp, meeting Bulma. Bulma can make the costume for him. Actually, he doesn't have the turban that he's wearing here. This is what he wears for the martial arts tournament. He has this helmet. Looks kind of goofy. But also meets Trunks, little Trunks there, who's training with his father, Vegeta. And Vegeta sort of, at the end of the Cell arc has sort of given up on, being evil in a certain sense, and now has a son. When he saw future Trunks came in, he decided he wants to be more of a father, but he's training his son to go stronger. And then he has a comment to go on. He's like, "Oh boy, you could be strong, but look at you going studying the books, weakling. I will be stronger than you. I am the best Saiyan alive," and doing all that nonsense. So Gohan, of course, we see that he develops feelings for Videl, and they go on a date, and she keeps talking about the Golden Warrior, or the Great Saiyaman, as he tells the world now that's who he is, trying to figure out who it is, and Gohan's like all blushing, trying to figure out like ways to avoid talking about it. And then, she essentially finds out who he is. So she holds it over his head, and she's like, "You better teach me how to fly." So they end up having a little session where Gohan's training with her. And it's funny, too, because the voice actress for Videl is also the same voice actress for Goten. It's kind of funny. And it's cool, too, when they did the scenes together. But essentially, Goku speaks telepathically to Gohan when they're doing the training. And he says that, because he's so noble and he had great ideals and whatnot, he's granted back to life for one day. And the one day he chooses to come back is when they're going to have the World Tournament. So everyone agrees to qualify for the World Tournament, including Vegeta, Piccolo, Android 18, and Krillin. And it's revealed here that Krillin and Android 18 hooked up and are married and have a kid now. And they live on Kame House with Master Roshi, which is funny as hell, because there's a scene where, they have a daughter now named Marin, named after Krillin's former girlfriend. But Master Roshi's letting him live there, and he's like constantly oogling over Android 18, like, "Oh, let me see those knockers. Oh," and it's like, you're living at this dude's house, and he's just constantly perving on him, and Krillin's letting it happen. It's just funny as hell. So everyone agrees to join the tournament. Mr. Satan, of course, is still the world martial arts champion of the world. And Videl wants to compete too, because it's established that she's strong in her own right. She's a strong human. So they all begin training. And it starts off with just Gohan training with Goten. And it's funny as hell, too, because they're training, and Goten goes Super Saiyan. And Gohan's like, "I didn't know you could go Super Saiyan." "Yeah, Trunks can go Super Saiyan, too." So it's like the little kids are going Super Saiyan now. And then Videl agrees to train with them. And Chi-Chi, being the overbearing mother, is like, "Oh, you better be nice to my son. No. He's got to study his books." It's just, Chi-Chi being Chi-Chi. So that's about all. So then they all gather for the tournament, and right before the episode before that, Goten talks to Gohan like about meeting his father, like, "Oh, is he gonna like me?" And it's a very heartfelt scene, and I guess we'll share that with you now. When they finally appear at the tournament, you got this scene right here. I love this scene.
Wow, he showed up. Hello, Piccolo. I don't suppose you've seen my father yet.
Not yet, but he'll be here. That outfit. You're really going to fight in that?
Of course!
Oh, where in the world could Goku be? Gosh, maybe they weren't able to bring him back.
I'll go comb the area.
Yeah, me too.
Huh?
I'm back!
Dad, it's you!
Goku.
Whoa! Pinch me!
You guys have changed a lot in 7 years. Gohan! You're a giant!
Oh, Goku.
Welcome back to Earth, Goku.
Oh, wowzers! So, guys, are you just gonna stand there and stare at me all day?
Oh, sweetheart, I've missed you.
I've missed you, Chi-Chi.
Goten, it's okay.
Hey, I think there's a little me hiding behind your leg, Chi-Chi.
I'm Goten.
And I'm Goku. Hi.
Daddy!
Oh, little guy, you're a strong one, aren't you? Here you go. You want to be an airplane?
Listen up, Goku. Remember that you only have 24 hours. That's all I can do.
Yeah, I know.
See you then.
All right. Thank
Honestly, I love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes in the whole series, and it's just so nice seeing everyone's, seeing Goku again, because like when we watched this on Toonami, we all thought Goku was gone for good. I mean, he was in the Afterlife, doing the Afterlife Tournament, and it was just so nice seeing him meet his son like that. Just one of my favorite scenes. Even seeing Piccolo smile, who often doesn't smile as much, and even Vegeta sitting there watching. So, just so good right there. And eventually they all sign up and go on with the tournament. And it's funny too, because the announcer too is the same announcer from the original Dragon Ball. He's just the announcer. That's his name. He doesn't have anything special. And he sees Goku and he's like, "Oh, Goku, you're back! Oh, it's been so long since we seen you. We really haven't had much good competition since you left." And everyone signs up. And it's interesting, Piccolo uses the name Majunior instead of Piccolo. I guess, for fear that they might remember him as the Demon King Piccolo. I'm not really sure. And there's also a funny scene too when they have to sign up. They have to basically punch the punching bag to register how strong they are, because only 16 people can qualify. And Vegeta punches it in classic Vegeta fashion. Oh, there's Mr. Satan.
Incredible! Mr. Satan has just scored 137 points!
So let's just fast forward. Okay, look at this. So Android 17 punches it. Look at her score.
774?
What?
It seems to be out of order. Sorry about that.
Yeah, right.
That's what you call taking it easy?
It's not my fault.
Alright, let's see. Everyone punches it here.
192 points. 186 points. 210 points. The pressure mechanism seems to be broken. See if you could fetch the other machine.
Of course, sir.
Alright,
Now
this is great.
stand aside.
Look at their eyes. So you gotta love Vegeta. Everyone's like, take it easy. We don't want to draw attention on ourselves. And Vegeta just goes full power. So God bless him. Anyway, they all sign up and get ready to go. And it turns out that the boys, Trunks and Goten, cannot compete in the adult competition. So they're in their own league. And they go about it their way. And you see in the crowd, there's this annoying mother who's like, oh, my son's the best. And she has two sons. Trunks beats the shit out of her son, and then Goten beats the shit out of her other son. And then the whole time, like, whoever, like, if it's Trunks, Bulma's there, like, yeah, go Trunks. And she's right next to the mother. And same with Chi-Chi. And even Oolong. And then, I couldn't find the clip, but I did see it on my rewatch. But there's a scene where there's like this hot woman in a bikini sitting next to Master Roshi, and just for like one scene, and he's like, oh yeah, just oohing her, trying to grab her, and Bulma slaps him, and it's so does Oolong, like, come on, old man, what are you doing? Because Oolong's sitting next to him too. It's like Oolong, Poir, Yamcha, Master Roshi, and the two mothers, Chi-Chi and Bulma. So they go about that, and the winner ends up being Trunks, who I believe Trunks is a few months older than Goten, and therefore a little bit more powerful. Plus, he gets trained by Vegeta, of course. And then he goes on to face Mr. Satan in a exhibition match, and Mr. Satan loses. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I couldn't beat the kid. I couldn't beat him up. I lost on purpose. See, Mr. Satan always spinning it that way." And then, so another funny part, I gotta show this too. This is another funny scene. There's all these other random characters there, and there's this one named Killa, who is this essentially a black stereotype, and he's voiced by Damian Clark, who's the voice actor for Cell. And just listen to his voice, holy shit!
Yeah. Turn him out, flesh out 14. Man, I tell you that, man, I've been taught and work you up like a jackhammer. Yes, Hey, they called your name, buddy. It's your turn in the ring. Hey, don't get out, case, small. Hold up!
Oh, shit!
It's time. Hit him once, hit him out of it. Spopovich can't fight like that.
So you get the point. Essentially, he's a black stereotype, and it's amazing that the SJWs haven't combed through DBZ and other old stuff like they have in the past and said, "Oh my God, the racism!" But it's just funny as hell because I don't even remember that. I just in my rewatch here, I saw it. I'm like, "Holy crap! How is this even happening?" And it was just funny as hell. So essentially, what happens is they're all having their matches and stuff, and another thing I skipped over. God, I'm just rambling. But you get the appearance of Kaioshin and Kibito Kai, and they appear in the tournament. And essentially, they're like, "Oh, it's so good to meet you guys," and they're very mysterious. And the way they bill it as you're watching it is like, "Who are these mysterious fighters? Could they be the newest villains?" And then you saw there the scene of him going after Spopovich, and he shocks him, and it turns out he's really the main villain. And as it goes on, you have Videl fights Spopovich and gets her ass handed to her, like literally gets beaten to a pulp. And they're told by the Kais not to interfere. And then Gohan eventually faces Spopovich, and Gohan faces Kibito in the first round. And Kibito just says, "Just power up for me. Show me your powers." And he goes Super Saiyan 2. And then Spopovich and the other guy, I forget, Yamu, I believe his name is, show up with this weapon to sap his powers, which they do. And Kaioshin tells the others in the waiting area to stand back and just let it happen, and they got to follow him. And also, when they were setting up the matchups, it was revealed in the first round Goku was going to face Vegeta, and Vegeta was very excited about that, to put it bluntly. So that happens, and essentially it ends right there. Also, skipped over to episode 215, Forfeit of Piccolo. So Piccolo was going to face Kaioshin, but decided to forfeit. I guess he could sense the power levels, and because he's fused with Kami, and they still allude to this, him being fused with Kami, a god himself, knows that Kaioshin, the Supreme Kai, is the lord of all the lords of this universe, and decides not to fight him. So we're running up on 20 minutes here, but I love this whole arc. Like from the beginning, just having the tournament, harkening back to the originals, to the original Dragon Ball when it was always about the tournaments. Goku fighting in the afterlife, and then having the slice of life stuff with Videl and Gohan meeting each other. It was a nice change of pace, and then having the world tournament, and as I showed you those nice scenes, especially the scene of Goku coming back, meeting all his friends, was really spectacular. So that's the end for the Great Saiyaman arc, and then in the next video we'll be discussing the beginning of the Majin Buu arc. Now, if you go to like DBZ Wiki, they'll say that there's like 20 different arcs here. You have the Babidi arc, you have the Majin Vegeta arc, you have this arc, you have the Fusion arc, you have the Kids arc, whatever. But there's really just one arc. It's the Majin Buu arc, and you can split it into 2 parts and not the 20 parts that the Wiki makes it at the seam. So we'll talk about that in the next video. So thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and stay tuned for that. Take care.